Hi, welcome to Sick Biz Business Courses. This is module number 1. I'd like to welcome you to the module and the class itself. Today's module, we're going to be talking about passion. We're going to be defining passion, and we're going to be figuring out if we work in a passion business or if we don't work in a passion business, exactly what we can do to pivot out of that business so that we can work in a business that we feel really passionate about. I want to tell you before we get started that there's a lot of notes that go into making these modules, and as much as I try to remember, my lime brain will have me do otherwise. And so I'm going to be periodically looking off screen to catch up with my notes. If you notice, that's what I'm doing. That is all that I'm trying to accomplish, is just using the screen, a second screen, as a little memory helper. I'm sure you can relate to that. And part of me is like, is this growing older or is this growing limier? I'm not quite sure. In any regard, we'll get started. The first thing that we want to do before we engage in any conversation is make sure that we're all on the same page. So that means that everything that we talk about, we need to have a common understanding. So when I talk about passion today, I want to make sure that we define that word so you and I are both referencing it in the same way. For our purposes today, the definition of passion comes from Inc.com. So I was doing some research for this module and I wanted to make sure that we had a really solid definition. So Inc.com supplied it, and this is what they have to say about passion. The definition of passion is what drives you to succeed because you are completely dedicated to making your business work, no matter how hard the process may be. So you're completely dedicated to making the business work, no matter how hard the process may be. Why is it important that we define passion? Why is it important that we have passion in our business? Those are very, very good questions. One, I think we just kind of answered. We need to be on the same page together. We need to know what we're talking about. And two, passion-based businesses have the best shot at succeeding, and not only succeeding, but lasting in the long term. And that's exactly what you're going for. I don't care if you came into the business as a necessity. That's what happened to me on January 1st, 2015. I woke up without a job. I had been the marketing manager at a regional furniture company. Oh man, I loved it. I wrote about furniture and I wrote about fabrics and textures and colors and all kinds of wonderful things. And then I slowly lost my ability to walk without assistance. I had a hard time breathing sometimes. I had burning and tingling overcome my body. And so I was unable to work off-site. I was unable to work for somebody else. Not to mention I had groundbreaking fatigue and I slept for about 16 hours a day. So that did not fit in with the typical 9 to 5. I came into my business, I like to call myself a reluctant entrepreneur, but that doesn't mean that I remained that way. That means that's just how I came into my business. So even if you came into your business through necessity, because it was either like start your business or go live in a refrigerator box, you can still have passion in your business. You can still rediscover that passion in your business, even if monotony has pounded it out of you. And if you don't have a passionate business that you're working in, we're going to talk about that too. Specifically, I'm going to give you 3 tools that you can use to help you, 1, discover, do I have passion in my business? 2, what type of person am I? What is my personality? And so in conjunction, what am I best suited for? And 3, I'm also going to give you a link to a super cool entrepreneur aptitude test that I also discovered. There's a lot of them out there. And, you know, I'll tell you a funny story. I thought I was on to a really good one. And then through taking this test, I could tell that it was more of a joke because the grammar started slipping. And you know, as an editor, I was just cringing like, I can't use this in my modules. This is crazy. So in any regard, 3 really rock solid resources for you, two of which are the tests that I have taken myself. My husband took the personality test as well. So I want to make sure that you understand anything that I'm recommending, I'm doing myself to ensure that it's a good experience and it's a valuable experience for you. It's interesting to note that there are 4 reasons that a business fails. I think every single one of these reasons can be traced back to a lack of passion, believe it or not. So the 4 most common reasons that a business fails have to do with 1, a lack of funding. 2, it's a lack of management. Who cares? 3 is a lack of infrastructure, and 4 is a lack of ineffective marketing. Now, if we break those down and look at them individually, let's do that. Let's start with the first reason. So, lack of funding. Well, how in the world could this be connected to a lack of passion? In any regard, when you are asking for something, whether it's you're asking for engagement in your marketing, whether it's you're asking for your leadership team to give a crap about their team or whatever the case is, you have to persuade. And you're more readily able to persuade when you're passionate about something. So even in the case of, hey, I need funding. I need funding for my business because I need to pay a subcontractor to get the website up and running. I need to pay an audiobook engineer. I need to pay a graphic designer. So I need these startup costs for my business. I need particular equipment. I need subscriptions to platforms or whatever the case may be. But you are charged with persuading. And so if you can't persuade people, you can point that back to, well, maybe she wasn't passionate enough about it. If she wasn't passionate enough about it, is it because in saying, hey, if you give me this money, I'm going to do something with it. This is my plan with it. This is how I'm going to make the money back. I've taken the time because I care, because I'm passionate to say, this is my plan. This is how I'm investing the money that you're giving me to make sure that I can give it back to you with interest. I'm taking the time out to care. Being passionate is caring about your business. When it comes down to leadership, the same holds true. We've all had those leaders, they're old school people. They come on board. They're like, man, I'm 10 years away from retirement. Like, I'm checked out of this. I don't really care that much. I'm not going to do much with this. They're lacking passion. And that can flow down onto their team. Passion requires energy, and sometimes we don't even have the resources to be passionate. But you know what? Passion helps us dredge it up, doesn't it? And so that trickles down into the team. That's what, man, if I am tired, I am tired and I just want to take a break, but I have a team that's depending on me, or I have editors that I've trained, I better find a way to care. I better do that because I'm vested in how they perform. I'm vested in their investment so they get it back. They get back what they're taking from me. I'm vested in your investment. I want to hear how you do. I want to hear if you are working in a passion business. I want to hear if you're not working in a passion business, so then we can develop a plan together so that you can be happier, you can be more profitable, you can be more efficient, you can be less stressed. Likely if you're watching this right now, and you're in like the larger audience segment for Sick Biz, then you maybe have 1 or more chronic illnesses, or you have a disability. And that being the case, like, I'm totally vested, man. I'm you. I get it. I want to help you succeed. I want you to skirt around the normal hustle process where people come at you and they're like, you got to hustle and you got to find it. You got to do it. You got to keep showing up at 5 a.m. That is not likely possible if you're in that larger percentage of people that I work with. And the first thing I want to tell you is it's okay. The second I want to tell you is that you don't have to run a business out of necessity that lacks passion, okay? So even if you're running a business that lacks passion, or if you're running a business that you're very passionate about, before you make any decisions, keep doing what you're doing. To be the holdout and to be the business that is going to last, it boils down to consistency, that you show up every day. And right now you might feel like, well, I show up every day and I do a crappy job and I'm not really happy with it. Okay, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in the various modules, in the 7 other modules that we're going to go through that are going to help you with your business. Right now, before you have those tools, keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing up every day. You know what? If you're like, I'm writing a shitty blog post and I'm going to just keep doing that, keep doing that. If I'm writing social media posts and they're not really doing much, keep doing that. Consistency is going to keep moving you forward. The other thing is when you combine consistency and passion, which is exactly what I want us to do. That's the goal. That is when you succeed, okay? So keep that in mind as you're going through. You're not going to have all the answers yet. I'm not going to give them to you yet, and you're not going to discover other things on your own. So many times we want the lesson. We don't want the experience, and I want you to just hang in there with me because we're going to get to all these wonderful things that are going to transform your business. And I am living this, okay? January 1st, 2015, I woke up and I didn't have enough money to pay for my share of the bills. You know, I had like $300 in the account. And I was worried. I didn't have anybody bankroll me. I came up by my bootstraps. I had to get innovative and I had to get creative. So I don't want you to worry, even if you have to pivot out of your business, because it's not passion-based. So without further ado, and knowing that it's critical to keep trying, I want to send you over to the resources page right now. The first thing that you're going to do is head to 16personalities.com. That's that personality test that I talked to you about. And I believe it's a little bit better than the Myers-Briggs test because, again, it combines Myers-Briggs with some Jungian principles or concepts. So it's a deeper dive look into your personality, and it breaks out your personality across a matter of different segments in your life. So your romantic relationships, work orientation, your parenting, even friendships, how you receive validation, things of that nature. I took the test and I'm an advocate. My husband is a logistician, which makes sense because he's been an EMT and a firefighter and an Army sergeant. So he has great value on morality and making sure people do the right thing. For me, it made sense because a lot of charitable founders are advocates. So I was like, oh, this test totally knows me. So I want to encourage you to do that. You'll find the link on the resource page. Once you're done with that, I've designed 10 questions for you to help you determine if you're working in your passion. So you'll answer these questions, and I'm aiming for you to get like 7 out of 8 yeses. If you get 7 out of 8 yeses, then that likely means you're working in a passion business. And understand too that working in a passion business isn't, oh, it's 100%, I love it all the time, it's so great. Working in a passion business is like being in a marriage. You're choosing it every day, and there are some things you like doing, some things you don't like doing, but majority rules. Majority, you like what you're doing. Okay? The third thing that I want you to do is take an entrepreneur test, and that is specifically designed for you. It is called Heart, Smart, Guts, and Luck. And so it's divided up into these 4 categories. You will, between a percentage of 100%, it'll be chopped up into these 4 categories. So maybe you're 40% guts and you're 20% smarts, etc., until you reach 100%. What's really cool about this test is that based on the results coming in, it's going to tell you, you know, if you're motivated by your gut, then you likely match this type of business person or this type of entrepreneur. So you've got these 3 tools available to you, and they're over on the resources link. For every module, I'm going to aim to give you homework. And if I don't give you homework, I'm going to at least give you some real food for thought. I'm going to assign you time to kind of sit and marinate over things that you want to do and choices that you want to make. And I'm here to help support you through those choices. So we need to find out if you're working in a passion-based business or not, what we're going to do about it. When you're done taking the test, I want you to email me the results. And my email is available on the resources link page. So take those tests, email me what you got. And that's the conclusion of module number 1. I'll see you shortly on module number 2. We're going to talk about all kinds of sales and how to get money in the door today. See you soon.